I can hear you.
We had this worked out. Oh, I think I know why. Oh, okay, now it's working. Dude, this thing sometimes, I'm telling you. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It's been a while. We might be a little bit rusty,
What,
even.
3 weeks, I think?
Yeah. It's hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I mean, it is the New Year now, but I hope that celebrations for the New Year were fun. It's been so insanely busy this past week and a half with the news. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
a lot's
know.
been going on.
We got Venezuela, the Greenland stuff. Um, what did I have on? I don't even remember what I had on my list. I'm so behind. I feel like I'm starting to get sick. You know, the flu's been
Oh,
going
the
around.
ICE agent.
Yeah, the
The flu
ice
has been going
agent.
around.
Yeah, that was a big one. Um, Crazy. And people like, for the most part, the right has been pretty consistent. Like across the board, most people pretty much agree on that. Um, but we'll get into that more. Trump asked Republicans why he's receiving so much criticism and why he might lose the midterms. And then, like we talked about a little bit about the ICE agent shooting the woman, there's huge protests now, as expected with anything like that. Um, yeah, I guess you want to start with with Venezuela.
Yeah.
So,
So, oh, go ahead. Give an intro for those of that live under
for
the rock,
yeah,
under a
if you
rock
live
and
under
don't
a
know what
rock,
happened.
basically what happened is that the United States conducted a special operation to capture the president of Venezuela and his wife. Um, Under the cover of night, there was some uh, airstrikes that occurred as well in efforts to support the operation. I think it was like how many soldiers was it? It was like a couple hundred soldiers that were on the ground. Maybe that's not the right number that I'm thinking of. I saw the number 200. I It was the Delta Force Army team that went in and captured him and his wife. His wife looked pretty beat up.
What did they?
um,
How quick did they do it too? I don't remember the exact number, but it was like I thought it was like minutes.
yeah, I mean it was a very efficient operation, no doubt. And now there's like, as with a lot of things on the right side of the aisle this time around, I mean the left is pretty much in lockstep. This is not a good thing, and it might be for different reasons that someone like me would say it's not a good thing, right? Like it's not,
Mm.
and that's what I hate. It's the immediate, oh, you're a liberal, like you support communist type claim
No, I
when
think
I don't
I think ultimately
necessarily
it
agree
comes
with
down
the
to.
action.
I think it comes down to like I'm happy if you look at a large population of Venezuelans, they're happy about this, right? And it could potentially benefit the country of Venezuela, but it's like is doing the right thing for the wrong reasons, is that moral? Or
Mm.
you know what do you think Trump's motivation was for capturing Maduro?
I just pause 1 second. Does my microphone sound okay?
Yeah, I mean, sounds fine on my end.
Okay, because it just looked like there was some buzzing or something. But if there is buzzing, let me know in the chat. Because it could be that my input changed. But yeah. So the entire premise, I guess, in the build-up that we've seen in these past couple months has been the drug boats. The claim that Venezuela, that Maduro is the leader of the Cartel of the Suns narco terrorism group that's been smuggling massive amounts of fentanyl into the United States via cocaine. Um, now we've seen, well, now we see that went to court for his arraignment in New York, and the federal prosecutors did not charge him for being the leader of a narco terrorism of the alleged cartel of the Suns. That there's no charge. There's conspiracy to commit narco terrorism, and there's a couple of gun charges. What is it like? Guns are devices to be used against the United States.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like somewhat
I hear
fabricated charges, but
some buzzing. Yeah, to see. Well,
I don't hear any.
really? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna unplug it real quick. This was actually happening the other night. Oh, it's not my mic.
Is it on my end or is it on Luke's end? Oh, let me try to mute.
It's on my end. This was
It's
happening
on
when
your
I
end.
was
Okay.
gaming like a week or two ago. It's like it was buzzing, and I don't know if it's like the gain or something. I don't know, dude. It's so weird.
Should we do an Operation Alpha gaming stream one night?
We should. That would be pretty fun, actually.
Play some War Thunder.
I would do that. I'm good at War Thunder. But anyway, if
Yeah.
I don't really know what to do about the buzzing right
Yeah, let us
now.
know. Is it like to the point of unwatchable? Is it that bad?
Yeah,
Or is
that
it
might
just
be
kind of annoying?
pretty bad.
Well, let's carry on until we get a response. But where do we leave off? So yeah, what do you think was the driving force behind this? Like, obviously we know there's the oil motivation, um, and there's the regime change. But like, what are your thoughts on that?
So I didn't believe the drug thing from the very beginning, even when they started doing it. Like, it was kind of like, okay, no fentanyl is virtually no fentanyl. I'm sure there could be a very minuscule amount, but statistically, it's such a small amount of fentanyl that is produced in Venezuela compared to, say, Colombia. It's like you're focusing so much on Venezuela. It just doesn't make any sense. And the claims of um, Maduro being connected to this alleged cartel never had any factual basis behind them. It was all just claims by the government. And I think it was kind of telling when there was 20 plus strikes and they never provided evidence to Congress. Like, it was just kind of like an, I don't know. I don't. I think there are
It just,
cases where.
in a way, it all seems too convenient to have
Oh
like
yeah.
it all happens so soon and it sounds so convenient.
And then
And
we.
again,
No,
I'm
go
kind
for
of
it.
so torn between thinking this is like, I mean, on one end I'm like, all right, this was a bad decision because we had, what was it was Russia and China that said they would support Venezuela if it broke out into a war.
Mhm.
And there's always like the threat. I mean, you look throughout history, there's always like the chance that this turns into more than it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And we can talk about who's you know in term taking over for Maduro right now, but the other side of me is like, okay, if it ends at where we have it right now and the people of Venezuela are happy and you know everyone sort of wins in that sense, then I don't think it was a terrible thing. But
Yeah.
you just look throughout history, and any type of regime change of this sense just has never ended well.
Sorry. I'm trying to fix my thing. I just unplugged it and plugged it back in. Because I can see the green thing bouncing up and down when I'm not talking.
Wait, I think you just made it worse. Because now I hear it.
Hold on, I'm gonna switch ports.
It seems to only happen when you talk. Anyone in the comments, what are your thoughts on the events occurring over in Venezuela? Luke, are you talking? Because I can't hear you. Guys, I think he broke it for good. Oh, there he is.
How about now?
You're good now.
Okay. Well, ask your question again.
Did I get your thoughts
On
on
the
whole
whole
situation?
thing?
Yeah, like do you think it was like do you see all negative? Do you see all positive? You see a bit of both? Like what do you think? What do you think will come out of it? Maybe.
The only positive I see. I don't like how my camera is the.
They
Freak me out.
said they can't hear you, but I think that
That
was
was
for a
before,
minute
yeah.
ago. Yeah, yeah.
So I think the only positive that could come out of this situation is um, if the economy of Venezuela gets better, and the general life of Venezuelans get better, and overwhelmingly they didn't want Maduro to be president, and they are appreciative of U.S. intervention. And now, buzzing is bad still. I don't really know what to do. It's just stupid mic. I wonder if it's like
Do you have your other mic on hand?
no. It's the system itself. It's
What episode are we on? We're on 11,
11.
and I think we've had one episode without technical difficulties.
Apparently I sound like a swarm of bees. I don't know. Do you think we should take a break and then I should try and fix it?
Yeah, we can.
All right, we're going to go to break.
Give it a little twist.
it gone? I think it's gone. I don't see the thing anymore. All right. Let us know in the comments if you can hear us again, because I don't see the bouncing of the green anymore. It might have been my USB port, the one I was plugged into. It was overdriving it. So just let me know in the comments. All right. So what was I talking about? I was talking about if I am in support of the thing, right? I would say generally no. And why? Why no? Um, just looking based on the history of the United States and all the regime changes that our military has been involved in, and the positive outlook that the government of the United States has before the operation is done, and then after the state that the country devolves into. Typically, it's civil war, some sort of mass civil unrest, right? Like look at Iraq, look at Libya, um, any of the prominent examples in the past, Syria. There's just nothing good ever comes of it. And yeah, maybe that's like most of the stuff has happened in the Middle East. Actually, no, because the United States had uh, a big role in regime change in Ukraine in 2014 and helping install Zelensky as president of Ukraine. I mean, and there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes in Ukraine, not necessarily civil war type stuff, but a lot of corruption. Like I think it's one of the most corrupt countries on the planet. Um, Huge money laundering within the scope of the government itself and government officials. Um, I just don't like, and I knew that. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I knew that it wasn't about the drugs. It's about the oil. And what kind of kickback do the American people ever get from the oil that we steal from these countries? Like you could, it could. Do I think it? I don't think it's going to have the effect. And this may be like a pessimistic outlook. That would be great, right? If gas prices went down, blah blah blah. But it does in so what is it? Chevron is one of the American oil or gas companies that operates within Venezuela, and they're signing a deal with the government for 30 to 50 million barrels of oil at market price. So it's like I don't think it's going to have that much of an effect. And they could turn around if the United States keeps posturing as if they're going to control the entire country. They could turn around and be like, actually, no, we don't want to do this deal with us. We feel like you're just like pushing us around. Give us our president back, you know. And it's honestly so painful. Can't hear Tyler. Why not? Talk again? Okay,
Hello?
they should be able to hear you now.
Okay.
Um, it's okay. You weren't really saying anything. It was just
No, no,
me
no.
talking,
Yeah, I was
right?
kind of listening. Yeah.
So, what was I just talking about? So, this is one of the things that has made me so angry in the past week, seeing the coverage that like the mainstream right-wing media has been putting out, like the Fox News absolute slop that they're putting out. Just if we stopped a communist dictator, a socialist dictator, and this is good for America. This is so good. And if you don't support it, you're a liberal. It's like, are you kidding me? I am far more right wing than any of the people on Fox News. You guys are all bought and paid for by Israeli money. You know, I'm not gonna report to you on my political opinions. I know that you guys are wrong. I know that you have your own agenda. Now you're gonna put Mark Levin up there, who just loves to go to war, any war that we could possibly get into. He's foaming at the mouth. How does that benefit any of us? We're the ones that are at the age group. If there's a huge conflict, we're gonna be the ones that are boots on the ground, not 70-year-old Mark Levin. He doesn't care. He's more than willing to send all of us to go die for his own cause and for his country that he supports. That's not America. You know. It's just
Tell me how you really feel.
that pisses me off, dude. It's like me being lumped in like I guess for a lot of people on the right wing, liberal is used as like an insult to people who are actually left leaning. So when I get lumped into that category, when I'm like, I'm so America first, so pro America, conservative. You guys are like, what even are you guys? You shills at Fox News. You guys can barely even consider yourselves on the right side of things. You know, there's a lot of like the right wing influencers, like typical liberal, DC Drano, all these guys on Instagram. You know who I'm talking about, right? Like
Oh
they're just
yeah.
posting the same, like, oh my god, look how happy the Venezuelan people are. They're posting videos of Brazil during the World Cup celebration in 2017, 2018, whenever it was. There's not even people in Venezuela. There are hundreds of thousands of people in the streets of Venezuela that are marching and calling to have their dictator president back. Just because they don't, not necessarily even because they like the guy, they don't want to be pushed around by the United States. Nobody does, you know? And it's just a question of whether or not that's going to end well for anyone here. Or how does that help us here? We're $38.5 trillion in debt. The debt has gone up almost $2 trillion in the past year. How does this
Yeah,
help
it's just a
us?
matter of like I said, I could see benefits, but it's just a matter of do we have any business doing that
Yeah, and
in our current standing?
we can, okay, they can hear you now. And to branch off of that, you know, there's the United States has sanctioned oil tankers going from Venezuela to Iran and China. And it's like, okay, well, the United States has put so many sanctions on Venezuela since 2005. And that's not the only reason that their economy sucked. You know, like it's a socialist economy with a nationalized oil system. Like it's not the best. Um, but you're sanctioning, you're putting so many sanctions on the Venezuelan government economically, and then you're like, oh, I don't know why the Venezuelan country's so bad. We need to go there, capture their leader to make it all better again. It's like, have you tried letting a sovereign nation be free and trying to, uh, I don't know, have a good relationship with them so that they want to sell you their oil and their resources instead of selling it to your competitors, China, Iran, and Russia? And the United States has sanctioned the oil tankers from Russia, from China that are going to Venezuela to pick up the oil. And now the Coast Guard is thousands of miles offshore capturing Russian oil tankers in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Is like it gets to a point like it's called the Coast Guard. You're in international waters capturing a foreign vessel. At what point does Russia take that as a war crime, right? And it's well known that Russia deployed a nuclear powered submarine around the area where that tanker was being seized. Obviously, like no, there was no conflict. The United States did capture the vessel, but you know, like things could happen. Russia has nuclear torpedoes. Okay. Uh, I
Yeah,
don't know. Well,
I guess I hope just nothing comes out of this bigger than it's already gotten.
yeah, that's the best case scenario. I hope that the Venezuelan people are better off now, but it seems like they want their president back. The vice president is saying that she wants the president back. She wants Maduro to come back and serve. And we can see from the indictments and the charges against him, some of this stuff might not even hold up in court, and they might, like, the guy might be free to go. You're trying to charge him with
You think they'll
United
ever let
States
that
gun
happen?
charges. No, they're gonna Epstein him or something, but I don't know. Give me some of your thoughts. I was just ranting.
No, no, I agree. I mean, I'm trying to take more of a positive outlook on this,
Yeah.
and more, I guess, I don't know if you want to call it hopeful or naive, but my hope is just that no blown out of proportion conflict comes out of this, and I can see some positives from it, and I'm hoping that maybe this will drive fuel prices down, potentially energy costs down.
Yeah, that
But
would be
then I
great.
also see, yeah, then I also see the negative of, we have this president who claims to be the president of peace and end all wars and intervened in Ukraine and Russia and end that war and intervened in the Israel-Palestine conflict, whether they worked or not. But then you go and do like I feel like throughout history, when you see this, it's always been an act of war. In what point could you infiltrate into a foreign country, take the president and his wife, and it wouldn't be considered an act of war. Can you imagine another country did that to the U.S. and they came in and they took
Well,
Melania and they took Trump?
here's a scenario, right? So we're doing this to Venezuela. If China went and did the same thing to Taiwan, what do you think that the United States would be doing? We would be in a
Oh,
world war.
yeah, no, but like think about it. What if it happened in the U.S.?
Yeah.
What would the United States do to get the president back,
Yeah, it would be like
regardless of who it is?
it would be scorched earth, you know?
So
Like
I guess yeah. That,
but it's like if you
that's
if the United States is going to go do this to Venezuela, steal their leader and say, "Okay, we basically own your country now and our executive is going to operate it and tell you what to do." How can we sit here and say, "Okay, sorry China, you can't do this to Taiwan?" Like it it's like we're not morally above them at a certain like you could
I feel
say,
like
"Oh, the
this is
United States is the country of peace." Like we're a Christian nation, you know? Like we're not. Our leaders aren't Christian. They can say that all they want just to pander to freaking Israeli groups so they can send their money away. But they're not Christian in values or belief at all. They just say it. Okay? If they're just going to go and bomb anyone, free will, okay, defense company's going to deposit another 100,000 in your bank account. Build up your stock portfolio if we go to war in Venezuela, right? And we've already threatened more strikes on Delcy Rodriguez, the vice president slash interim president of Venezuela, if they don't cooperate. And she said that we don't want to deal with United States imperialism. Like you guys aren't going to push us around. You know, we're threatening more strikes on them. So how can we say that we're morally above the Chinese? You know, Taiwan was once a part of China. At least they have that going for them. Venezuela was never a part of the United States. And I don't think that we're trying to claim it as a part of our own country, but we are trying to infiltrate, change the leader, change the way the entire country is run, and
I
install
mean
exactly what the United
this is
States
a good
wants.
segue into Greenland.
Yeah. And like my general thoughts about Greenland, if there was a way to acquire Greenland in which it didn't accrue huge amounts of debt or cause any sort of military aggression that could have negative effects on the United States, I'm all for it because I think Greenland is, in terms of global superiority against the other main superpowers, Russia, China, possibly Iran. Not really, they don't even have nukes. But I think Greenland is kind of like you have Alaska, right? On one side of our place in the hemisphere, on the west. On the east, the eastern United States are pretty much exposed. You don't have anything that extends far out or anything that extends far north into the Arctic, and that's what they want. Um, Huge submarine traffic through the Arctic Ocean, and ballistic missile paths would be going over the top of the globe in the case of nuclear war. So I think it's strategically smart to try and acquire Greenland. Depending on the cost, like I said, with $38.5 trillion in debt, you can't just go throwing money away. There's a proposal to give, what is it, $10,000 to $100,000 per citizen of Greenland if they want to become U.S. part of the U.S. Like, I'll move to Greenland. I'll become a citizen. Give me that free money. Like, you're just gonna go. That's the thing where I'm kind of like, the population of Greenland is not that high, so it's kind of a drop in the bucket. But when you're just giving money away to people, and it's like then you that comes back to the America First thing. It's like you see what's going on with people here. You can't even root out your own corruption. You can't arrest anybody in the deep state. Nobody's been arrested from the Epstein files. Only 1% of the Epstein files have been released. Dan Bongino quit the FBI. He's going back to his frickin' podcast, and he's gonna call out all the right-wing grifters. It's like, dude, you were such a sellout. I hope nobody watches your show.
Yeah, and I haven't even looked at them, but from what I saw, that it's just like it's like 99% redacted.
Yeah, yeah. It's
I
the
mean, I don't know what we were expecting, but
yeah, I mean, expectations on the floor, but the Justice Department technically is committing a federal crime because that the bill to release them was signed into law. So, and like, who are you gonna prosecute at the Department of Justice, right? Nobody's going to jail for that. We just want them released. Just release them. It's like, and I keep seeing all these jokes on social media saying all with all the conflicts going on in the world. It's like all this just so that we don't ever see the Epstein files, and it's like I don't really think that's it, but it's like it's kind of funny to
no,
think it's
but
like
yeah,
really
it like
it is
it almost makes
distracting.
too much
It is
sense.
distracting, and
Yeah.
um, I know you've been really busy with work, but have you seen anything in the past couple weeks about a nationwide tax strike? Because I was seeing so much about it,
Oh, you know what?
and
I
now I'm
haven't
seeing
seen like
nothing.
anything official, but I did see like all over social media. It's just people saying like, "Why stop paying taxes? Why are we paying taxes?" Like
Yeah,
I have seen a lot of that stuff, but nothing official.
yeah, like the social media movement was huge, and all of a sudden, nothing. Right? Got into this
Mm.
conflict, nothing, and now Trump wants to.
That
Uh,
could be like an algorithm thing, which
oh
in that
yeah,
sense would make it
it
worse. But
definitely could, but it goes into the just the distraction of the current events. You know, the Venezuela
yeah,
story just took over, and now Trump wants to increase the Defense Department budget to 1.5 trillion. Although this year was an all-time high at 1 trillion, or it's a little bit over a trillion.
can
And
I
next year
let me ask you
1.5.
something? I'll give my thoughts on it, but I want to hear your thoughts on what's with like we saw it with the boat strikes and now we just saw it with Venezuela. I don't know what the new fascination is of posting like the strikes and I don't know. I feel like it just gets plastered all over social media, all over the news, as like an advertisement,
Mm,
and I feel like that's something we never saw up until maybe like a year, a few years ago.
yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on it? Like, do you think that's do you think that's a good thing? You think that's like good in the sense that okay, well, kind of makes it real because we can see what's going on, or do you think it's a bad thing? Because I mean, sometimes like you and I spent a lot of time talking about those boat strikes. Of was that even legal? Like, was that just? And so, do you see a negative, positive to that kind of stuff? I mean, it certainly desensitizes it to an extent, but
Yeah, I think it's like it's transparency. Here, I'll put it this way. I think it's disingenuous transparency. I think it's good that we're seeing them, but I think it's propagandized in a way for you to think, "Oh, this is cool." And not even think about
mm,
any think about it on a deeper level at all, right? And through the videos that Hegseth and Trump were posting about the drone strikes all through the past couple of months, it's really just leading up to okay, now it makes sense to invade Venezuela, right? We have a chance. And you could see it in the polls, at least with our age group, there's huge support for capturing Venezuela. It's like the propaganda worked. I think it's propaganda. Because if it, from what it's looking like now, that there's like not really any valid charges against them
I
federally.
guess I mean more to come. Probably we'll see
I mean
what they come up
Pam
with,
Bondi
but
is also a terrible attorney general, I must say. I think that trying to pin the guy with United States gun charges. Are you kidding me? Like that just shows that you don't really have it. Like what do you have? Like yeah, if he was the leader of a cartel, you could charge him with trafficking massive amounts of narcotics, but that's not the charge. He has conspiracy to commit narcoterrorism.
innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, it's but I think it's just propaganda to make our generation think, oh, the military is cool, blowing stuff up is cool, right? And I don't think that it's not that those people necessarily were innocent. Some of them definitely looked like drug boats that were probably heading towards the coast of the United States or somewhere else in the Caribbean, whatever. But I think it's just like you said, it's desensitized and just think that going and killing people because they're breaking the law is okay. That's just not a
We
just thing for me. Because if
we get a
anybody
comment.
did, anybody did that to us, it would, like I said earlier, it'd be scorched earth.
Yep. We get a comment that said there's a notebook in the Oval Office of quote activities to act out on when people start asking questions.
How far down are they on the list so far? I mean, there's been a lot has happened since the. It's been like a month since the Epstein files were supposed to be released.
Man, we
Maybe
got to
not
be
even that
careful. We're gonna
long.
make that list.
I know. I just think it's like it is, and you might say, "Oh, this sounds like a leftist perspective." Oh, it's just like not
I don't
based
think.
or
I think
whatever.
it's just
But it's just like,
independent thinking.
yeah, I can't just be biased. I have to stay strong in my morals, and like I can't just say this situation is like, I don't know, one
Listen,
military aggressive military action was like, this is super cool and awesome, and this other one is like, oh no, that one's bad, right? Like you got to look at it because of the way that the I'm gonna clarify.
listen.
Don't
Until
don't
our
don't think about it in terms of which way that the party is typically leaning and whether they, because the right wing is basically always going to support, uh, generally bombing of other countries, right? And the left is typically, more often than not, they're going to be against it. But I can't just. I need to be subjective for each case, and not
yeah,
just be
and
biased.
until our APAC checks get bigger, we're gonna be honest.
Yeah, I didn't get my 7K last month, so I.
Yeah. Well, it's probably because we missed a few episodes. They
That's
probably looked
true.
at that and go, "Yeah, we got to reduce the check this month." But
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, not in favor of the propaganda. I don't like the. I think even the, like the border patrol propaganda, like the recruiting videos and the, like the ICE recruiting videos. It's like, I think it would be better if you guys operated in the shadows and were just really effective instead of
mhm.
posting all this shit online and not really having that many deportations. We're only at like three
I
hundred
just don't get
fifty
it because
thousand.
in the sense, it's good for people like us because it causes us to question it. But
Mm-hmm.
it's so bad for the people taking it, like for the government carrying out these acts because it causes people to question it.
Yeah.
I guess, like you said, it's transparency, but I mean, you know what? Maybe they're doing it. Maybe they want that transparency as a distraction. I don't know. Just a thought. Just a thought. But
Yeah, a slave that accepts the propaganda is no better than a slave that rejects it. We're all the same, you know? It's like you could say, "Oh yeah, this is good. I hope the government does this, blah blah blah." It's like, "Okay, well think about the reverse case scenario where we have boats going from the United States coast to somewhere, Trinidad and Tobago, for example, because that's right off the coast of Venezuela, or um what is that other island? Oh, a tropical island right by Venezuela. Whatever,
man, don't test my geography skills.
whatever. If Venezuela just says, "Oh, I think you're trafficking bombs into our country so that you can do covert CIA operations," and just blows the boat up, we would actually go to war and eviscerate their country. You know, like without a second thought, and all the Americans would be in
Hmm.
favor of it, right? It's
Yeah.
just like, I'm honestly surprised that Venezuela didn't do something before we ended up doing the operation to capture their president.
I I mean, I think it's still so early.
It is early.
I mean, at some point, I think Venezuela is going to get impatient, or the vice president's going to get impatient. And again, I
Aruba,
really
that's
hope that
it.
doesn't
That's
happen.
it.
Aruba, yeah.
Aruba. Yeah. Yeah. Geography's lacking today. I'm tired, man. Just trying to read up on everything that's going on. It's just like,
Yeah, and I apologize if I'm not as chatty this episode. I was gone for
it's
work
okay.
for a
Our
bit, and
opinions aren't meant to be well informed. I, we're semi-educated on the topic.
yeah.
Um, but
Let's talk about ice.
yeah, this
Do you
is
wanna? Can you
interesting.
play the clip? Is that
Yeah.
like can we play it?
Uh, I didn't pull it up yet, but I can. My keyboard is probably so loud. Glad I fixed the buzzing though. So
Yeah.
just
So
to,
just
yeah,
oh
give a little background.
yeah. So again, I from what I know, there was a was it an anti-ice protester in the car?
That's
and
what.
the I
See, that's I don't know. I don't have the
well,
context. That's what I'd say. Right wing media is saying that it's a protester in the car.
but from what I know, they had tried to stop her, and she started driving away and drove what looked like into an ICE agent, and they shot her.
Oh, that's the wrong browser. Sorry, people.
Did I
Uh,
summarize that right?
yeah, that's. I think that's good. I think that's accurate. Um, okay.
Think it was justified?
Well, let's watch the video.
Yeah. There's two angles too, and if we can, I'd like to show both angles, but
Why is there no sound? So he fought. See, this is so she's. They're giving her orders right here, telling her to get out of the car, and then she goes forward and kind of like bumps into him, and he shoots her once, and then she's passed, and he shoots. I think he shot two more times, and then she is dead. So now the car's just driving and smashes into it. Is there the second angle here? I don't think so.
oh yeah, here's the angle. Here's the other angle.
See, I got some, and this also goes into my like I can't be biased morally, you know.
hmm
It's just
So so do you think it was justified?
on like a flat basis, no prior context. I don't. I don't. Initially, she started driving and the wheels were pointed his direction. Then she corrected and tried to go the other way. I, first of all, I assume that this person, and not that it matters at all, but I assume that she was left leaning, or panicked or something. She just in that situation, the best thing you should do, whether or not you agree with what's happening, follow the orders of law enforcement for the love of God.
So yeah, and hold on, let me give my thoughts on this.
Not that that warrants they should kill you if you don't, but if you don't want anything to happen, just follow the orders. Moral of the
I
story.
I would I would argue that I disagree with you in the sense that I wish it didn't happen, and I sympathize with the family of that person, but I in a way think it was justified because like you said, you should just follow the instructions of law enforcement. Like if the time for questioning it and appealing it is after, like if I get, for instance, if I get pulled over and suspected as, I fit the description of someone who just committed a crime, I'm not going to drive away.
Well, that's because
I'm
you're
going
a
to
principled person, and I'd say people on the right
well
typically respect law enforcement.
sure, but also I mean you can see it, like that the person clearly did drive toward the ICE officer, and I would argue self-defense. Like, granted, he came out unscathed, but I would argue self-defense.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
you don't
here's
know the
the
motives at that point.
and that's all really I knew, and from watching the video earlier today, and then I got more context that 6 months ago he had been run over by a protester and dragged like 100 feet under a car and was in the hospital.
Yeah, so like, would you take any chances with that?
I see hindsight's always 2020, right? Looking back at the video, it's like, well, being where he was on the car, it's like in that split second situation, I'm sure that like maybe I would have done the same thing. You know, you feel like the car is coming at you, and then your job as law enforcement, if there's a threat, is to neutralize the threat, right? That's why he didn't
Right.
just shoot one time. Um, it's all it's and yeah, it's just I think it's just a I think it's bad that the right wing is saying, "Oh, good job." Like I've seen people saying, "Oh, good job," like serves you right, like you know, Like
I
she could
wouldn't
have
say
just
good
been
job. I think
she
that's
could have just been panicked,
anti-sympathetic,
not
but
know what to do, but like yeah, you should have followed the orders of law enforcement. There's some claims that some of the officers were telling her to leave and some were telling her to get out of the car. So if that it ends up being true that some were telling her to leave, then it's like I don't know.
but let me just play devil's advocate here. And if you're an ICE agent, with everything that's gone on in the past year, past months, whatever, it, I would argue that there's been a significant amount of violence against ICE agents, right? So all those guys are likely on edge. I just feel like at that point where you're an ICE agent, you don't know what the intention is. I'm not saying shoot first, ask questions later, but
Yeah.
you're not likely not going to take any chances. And all of this stems from the fact that if the woman driving the car had just followed directions, like there is a good chance that she would have came out of this with nothing, like unscathed.
Yeah.
And it escalated, unfortunately, to the shooting. But I mean, I can't find, I really don't know how to defend her in the sense that, I mean, I would argue self defense.
Yeah.
If someone's coming at you with a car, would you not do what everything you could to stop? Like you're not gonna stand there and hold the car back.
Yeah, and I saw some people saying that he like positioning himself in front of the car, and it's like I don't know,
It's a
maybe this.
common thing in law enforcement, though.
Yeah, I think it's a stupid thing, honestly,
Sure, but
because it's like you're setting yourself up. Okay, if she drives forward, I'm gonna shoot her, right?
I think the intention is you position yourself in front of the car so that
I
they don't drive forward. But
yeah, assuming you're working with someone sane enough. I think it's just like
yeah,
in her situation, you can't expect federal law enforcement to not kill you for doing something
mhm,
stupid. It's like in the sense that the state will always have its boot on your neck in some way, right? Like if you don't want to be killed, then you should probably just obey their orders, right?
right.
And it's not saying that it's warranted that she was. Like I think that the guy is probably going to go to jail. It's likely that in Minnesota, I'm pretty sure they're going to treat it as a state crime. They're likely going to get an entirely leftist jury and he's going to prison. That's just like the likelihood, right? The issue is so entirely biased, right? Majority of the right wing thinks that it was self defense. Everybody on the left thinks that it's murder. So like how do you reason that in a jury or in a
If you're
courtroom?
if you're if you're a juror, what's your decision?
I guess it depends on the charges. Um, I don't know. I don't think it's enough for self defense, but it's again, that's and that might sound. Why didn't they just shoot her tires out or something? Okay, yeah, but shooting her tires out is not going to stop the car, and then again, shooting her in the head doesn't stop the car either. And if he was in the way, if he was actually standing in the front of the car and killed her, he would have gotten run over. The car did obviously, as you saw in the video, didn't stop moving. You know, like you're hoping that
Yeah.
even if she's in gear, the car's not just gonna stop. And I'm not saying it like it was foul play, like he intended his intention from the beginning of that altercation was to kill her. He just sees a threat, so he is perceiving it as self-defense, and he is acting upon his instincts of previously getting run over by a protester, um, at some protest event, and having to go to the hospital for severe injuries. I mean,
See
but
that?
that's not
I mean,
taken into
I think that's
context in
part
the
of the
in the courtroom though. I'm not gonna say,
no,
"Oh,
but I
you
think
got
that's
ran
where the
over this
self
time, so
defense
now it's
argument comes
okay."
in. Yeah, I think that's kind of where the self defense argument comes in. Like that, I mean, I would argue that his thought was, well, he's not going to make that same mistake twice. Not, maybe that's a bad way to phrase it. Not that he made a mistake, but I don't know. I just think he wasn't taking any chances.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's as black and white as saying he's guilty or he's innocent.
Yeah,
And I think don't think that he's going to be found innocent in court. I would honestly be kind of surprised, unless they tried him in federal court. Like I don't. Just like
So
there's no
we
good
we had
ending
a
to that
comment that
situation. But
said the same thing
what's
that
that?
you said of that we had a comment that said
Yeah,
why didn't
yeah. It's not
they just
this
shoot out the tires? I just also think like that's a split second decision. Like that's
exactly.
something that whole thing happened in maybe 2 seconds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like less than that. I mean, I understand they're trained to you know think fast and act on their feet. Is that the saying? But like your first thought isn't shoot at the tires, and I get the sentiment of shooting out the tires so no one gets hurt, but I just don't think that's the first thought.
It would have been a lot easier for her to just get out of the car and like submit to their
Yeah,
whatever they wanted to do
that's
at
kind of where
that
I'm at.
moment. Even if they were telling you to leave, right? Like you don't slam the gas and like get out of there, right? When there's an officer in front of your car. And at the end, they were yanking on her door handle, whatever. I assume the officer was saying, "Get out of the car." Just get out of the car. You don't want to be killed by the feds, you know. It's just like if the feds knock on your door of your house, you're not gonna go to the door with a gun, right? Because even though it's your house and it's your property, and legally you don't know who's there, and you have the right to defend yourself. If the feds open your door and you're standing there with a gun, they're going to kill you. And not that it's right on their part. Like you didn't do anything wrong, but they're still going to kill you. So why not just like submit to the law enforcement for this specific case, live another day?
And then appeal it later after the fact.
Yeah. Because you can't appeal it when you're dead. I mean, it's terrible that she got killed, but what did she expect would happen? I don't really know. Like, I don't think you should be killed for.
I mean, it sucks
It's
for
all
both parties. It's
it's
a shame
hard.
on both ends.
It really is hard for me because I would have never done that. So it's hard for me to rationalize what was going through her head. I would have just gone out of the car. It's like I'm not taking any chances here. Like, show your
I
hands.
wouldn't be there in the first place, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't put myself in that situation.
It's just like, just something that didn't have to happen, and now there's huge protests. National Guard's gonna have to be deployed. And it's just like I don't know. It's so dependent on the jury which way this goes. And the crazy thing is, if it was found out that this was like some Trump supporter, right wing person, they'd be supporting it. Be like, yeah, he probably deserved it. And it's like the polarization.
The way the
is just
media
so
crumbles.
Yeah, it just sucks. Sucks that that's the environment that we live in. Just can't look at anything objectively, or maybe subjectively is what I'm thinking of. But the objective facts of the situation are what they are.
Yep.
And just like trying to think about like any of these leftists coming and saying, "Oh, this is murder." Like because murder is intent to kill her. Like his intent the whole time was to kill her. Like that was his only point was to kill her. And
I doubt that.
Yeah, how are you gonna hold that up in court? Maybe manslaughter. But he also felt that his life was in danger. So, but they don't know most of the time they don't know anything about guns. They don't know anything about anything law enforcement. They're anti any law enforcement, no matter what they do. Even if law enforcement does good things. Like, ICE's purpose in terms of enacting deportations, they don't support that either. Even if the officer was directly in front of her and then he was getting run over and then another officer shot her, they would still be saying that the officer who shot her was in the wrong. Most likely.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't want to speculate too far, but it wouldn't be the first time that we've seen something like that. There was a video a while back of another ICE protest at some facility. I don't remember where it was, but it was like a marijuana facility, and they were employing large amounts of illegal immigrants. And there was like a a crowd of protesters with a line of law enforcement, and this car like drove through the crowd, like not fast, but he was going towards the line, and in that situation, the officers don't know what if he's gonna like plow through them, you know, so they like
Yeah.
took him out of the car and detained him. And it's like, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing this. Like this is so illegal. Blah blah blah. It's like they're just trying to prevent anything bad from happening.
Order to chaos.
Yeah. It, but I don't think it's just so black and white. I wish it could be more black and white. Honestly, like I
Yeah.
wish it had never happened. Honestly,
Like I
that's
said, it sucks on both parties because now we have a dead person and an ICE officer who is likely going to get convicted
in protests, in the huge protests.
in protests. Yeah.
Well, so I talked a little bit about just changing topics. Dan Bongino is returning to his podcast at the end of February after resigning as deputy director of the FBI after accomplishing nothing. And he's saying that he's going to war against the black pillars and the grifters of and people who are trying to take apart the MAGA movement. It's like, Dan, you did do nothing, Dan. Deep State Dan, as I've some nicknames that I've heard about him. You expect to come back, do your silly little podcast, and have people come and listen to you and say, "Oh yeah, this is so good. I'm so glad you're here." And he's gonna complain about what needs to change and all this. It's like, buddy, you had the chance. You were in there. You didn't do anything. No deep state arrests. It's like, and then when he was a little bit of lead up before he was deputy director of the FBI, he was calling out the Epstein files, saying we need to release the Epstein files, and then the people need to be prosecuted. He gets
And now look at him.
yeah, and then he goes and says, no, I believe he had also said in the past that Epstein didn't kill himself, and then both him and Cash had said that, and then they both got to their positions at the FBI, and then they said, yeah, we have video that he hung himself. Yeah, it's like, you guys are monkeys. Like, I don't know if you're getting
It's always that would
paid
happen.
or like
Oh, probably.
threats on your life, or you guys just really were grifters all along, and you just got fame and popularity because you said what people wanted to hear, and then you get into office, you're like, yeah, actually, we're just gonna, I don't know, arrest some people.
Politics
Not
are
anybody
so
important
scummy.
though. Yeah, it,
It's,
how
so,
can
it's
you
such a slimy industry.
how can you go back from that, being in the position to actually make change, go back to your podcast and say, oh, these people are blah, blah, blah. You know, these people are hijacking the MAGA movement. Dude's bought and paid for by Israel as well.
The MAG movement doesn't exist anymore.
No, it's a
It's
shell.
not a thing.
It's a shell. It's a complete shell. It's like people like us, you know, like I don't think I'd ever want to run for office because I think my opinions are extreme to the point where I might be killed. Not extreme, not that extreme generally, but extreme to the people who are in power now and the powers that be. I think they just, I don't know. I don't think I'd be safe. But being in the position, like, as any of the influencers or podcasters that I think are respectable people, I think if they would love to be in the position that Dan Bongino was in to actually make change instead of just talking about what needs to change. You could talk about it all day long, but if you're in the position to make change and you don't make it happen,
Yeah, but
your
you can make the
credibility's kinda
argument
gone.
that all those people who you are saying would really make change, there's no telling what would happen when they got into office. I
Yeah.
mean, you could make that argument about a lot of the people currently in office that at one point they wanted to make change. And B, I've said this in the past, the people best fit for office in government don't want the job.
That is true. That is true.
Like if
That's
you
why-
get
that's why
some lifetime
I don't
politician.
want it.
No, it's like I mean I think Biden is a good example throughout his history. You get someone who's a lifetime politician who is, drooling at the thought of being president, and then you put him in office, like they're gonna do a terrible job. And I mean, sorry to use Biden as an example. I know he didn't really know where he was the whole time, but I think that's why Trump was so appealing back in 2016, right? 2016.
Yeah.
It's because he had almost next to nothing in terms of political experience, and I would argue that's when he was at his best.
Mm-hmm.
Now that he has that political experience, he's become a politician.
Well, I've been seeing compilations of him talking about regime change in the past, like when he was running in 2016, even on the campaign trail in 2024. He said, "Can't we just leave these other countries that nobody knows about alone?" It's like he completely flip flopped.
Hmm?
I wanna pull up that, see if I can find the clip that I saw. Because it was just like astounding. This is a short. I don't really want to watch a short, but we're gonna do it anyway. Why is there no sound? What the heck's this? Oh, wait. Here we go. Ready?
Strategy of nation building and regime change is a proven absolute failure.
We are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
On the campaign trail, Trump ran on America First, but the meaning of that policy has expanded over the years.
We will stop racing to topple foreign, and you understand this, foreign regimes that we know nothing about, that we shouldn't be involved with.
Our partnerships will advance security through stability, not through radical disruption. And wherever possible, we will seek gradual reforms, not sudden intervention.
We need Greenland very badly. The people of Greenland would love to become a state of the United States of America.
You know how I feel about the Gaza Strip. I think it's an incredible piece of important real estate, and I think it's something that we would be involved in, but having a peace force like the United States there, controlling and owning the Gaza Strip would be a good thing.
Venezuela right now is a dead country. We have to bring it back.
There's been protesters killed in Iran. You said we were locked and loaded, ready to go. What is the line there for when the U.S. is going to get involved in those protests?
We'll take a look. We're watching it very closely. If they start killing people like they have in the past, I think they're going to get hit very hard by the United States.
Are you considering U.S. action in Cuba?
We're not. I think it's just going to fall. I don't think we need any action. Colombia is very sick too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States, and he's not going to be doing it very long.
There will be an operation by the U.S.
It sounds good to me. This isn't a country that's on the other side of the world. This isn't a country like where you have to travel 24 hours in an airplane. This is Venezuela. It's in our area.
Our current strategy of nation building and regime change.
I think the term he used in there, peaceful force, is kind of an oxymoron. No?
It really is. Like a peace force? You just level the entire place.
But like a peaceful force, like those two words don't really go together.
Not really. No. I mean, a force to keep the peace, maybe. I don't know.
I don't think that's the context he used it though.
But he's talking about possibly toppling Colombia too. You know what's funny, and what Venezuela and Colombia have in common? Both of their leaders are opposing the Israeli regime, and both of those countries don't have central banking systems. Like most of the other countries that we've invaded and conducted regime changes in the past, they didn't have central banks. They're trying to impose the central banking system on all of these innocent, poor countries. And like he said, Colombia is the country that's making all the cocaine, not Venezuela. It's like I would understand more if you were bombing boats from Colombia. But I don't. It's just like
I saw some funny like Instagram reel where some guy got on. He was all pissed off about the capture of Maduro because he said now the prices of cocaine are going to go up.
another thing I thought was pretty crazy too was I mean I think in the past I have talked about Trump endorsing Lindsey Graham for re-election. I think on the plane in that interview where Trump's face was all sweaty, he's talking about Colombia and Cuba. I'm pretty sure Lindsey Graham was on the plane, just out of frame in that specific shot. It's like he's buddying up with Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is telling the Ayatollah of Iran, saying, like, you better watch out, we're going to come kill you. Him and Trump posed with a hat that said, make Iran great again. Not exactly the MAGA that I thought we would be talking about. Like, usually it's make Israel great again, but it's make Iran great again. There's big protests going on in Iran, and there's actually been talk of big military buildup similar to the buildup that was seen prior to the nuclear enrichment factory strikes in June. Was that June? So things are happening. It's just like, dude,
Yep.
What happened? Was it the money? There's no way it was the money. You're a billionaire. Was it threats on your life, or was it
Greed.
always like this? And was it just a play to get us to vote for you, and then you completely betray us? Don't give two shits about affordability. Calling affordability a hoax. All this nonsense. It's like, focus on us, man. Like, what do we get out of this? You're gonna send you guys to die for it. And that's why Lindsey Graham maybe likes war more than Mark Levin. I don't really know. Those two might have to battle it out for biggest warmongers. It's like, they don't care about us kids our age going to fight and die. They're not the ones that are doing it. Lindsey Graham is a self-espoused Christian. When he said in the past that Republicans are good at cutting taxes and good at knowing who to kill or who to bomb. I can't remember exactly how he said it, but it's like, these are the supposed Christian leaders that are leading us and are making policy. I will die on this hill. I don't think there's anyone more principled in Congress than Thomas Massey right now.
Do you see Trump's statement on Thomas Massey?
Was that the one that Massey responded to?
Yeah.
That was hilarious. I wanna pull it up.
I think was it a tweet?
It was a tweet, yeah. I was
You might be able to just find the tweet on Twitter.
Yeah, that's gonna be better. Oh. I saw it and I was like, there's no way that this is real. Dude posts a lot though, so I'm gonna have to. When was it? A couple days ago? Oh, here we go. So, I don't know if I really want to read through it. I'll read like the first.
No. Honestly, I think you just show it and show his response. Give the summary of.
Blah blah blah. So Trump is talking about his endorsement for Ed Galrain, who is in Kentucky's 4th congressional district, who is his candidate to run against Massey, and they're going to put huge amounts of AIPAC money behind him. He doesn't say that explicitly in this tweet, but Massey's basically responding saying, I ain't reading all that. I'm happy for you, though. Or sorry that happened. It's just like the best response. He's just like completely discrediting all, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure Trump has a scribe who just like writes down everything that he says, but like, you put this entire post together and Massey's just like, nah. Just like the best thing that you could possibly say. Oh, here we go. Unlike lightweight Congressman Massey, a true hater of Israel and a totally ineffective loser who has failed us so badly, Captain Ed Galrain is a winner. Oh yeah, he's a winner because he loves Israel. He doesn't give a crap about
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Why you throw that statement? Like, why is the United States president throwing the statement a hater of Israel in anything?
As Mark Levin said, he's the first Jewish president. You gotta love Israel. It's obvious that he loves Israel. His biggest donors are Israeli Americans.
But like Trump can talk shit on any country he wants, and it's totally fine as soon as anyone says anything about Israel.
Yeah, man. You'll never be able to like put it to me in a way that makes sense.
Like, you hear him talk about Colombia, you hear him talk about Venezuela, you hear him talk about Cuba, just trashing on all three places, and then is now all up in arms when someone says the smallest negative bit about Israel's government. It's just like, how do you not question that? How do you not wonder? I don't know. Maybe if Venezuela, Cuba, and Colombia were paying our politicians more money, maybe he'd say some nice things about them.
Well, see, we're about to go back to war with Iran, possibly, on behalf of Israel, because now Israel. I think Netanyahu said in an interview that Iran can't have intercontinental ballistic missiles. Not even just kinetic charge missiles. So nothing nuclear. The ballistic missiles that they used in previous attacks on Tel Aviv were non-nuclear ballistic missiles. So it's just an explosive charge. And Israel's now before it was they can't have nukes, and now it's they can't have ballistic missiles. Israel can have nuclear missiles though. Right? They have 90 to 400. Nobody knows because they won't disclose the number that they actually have. But Iran can't. And we're going to go back to war with Iran likely because of Israel. I will never understand it.
We're Big Brother.
Yeah, we really are Big Brother. It's like it seems like that's what it's all about. It's like whatever and this is funny because like going back to the Venezuela thing, usually if Ben Shapiro has a certain take on something on foreign policy and he likes it, it's typically I don't know, pretty good practice to say that the exact opposite of what he said is good is actually the good thing. So Ben Shapiro wrote articles in like 2005 why going to Iraq was a good thing. He's always been super pro-war in favor of whatever Israel wants. I don't think he's actually America first. He gained a lot of influence based on like his culture stuff, talking about like conservative culture. I think that he got huge doing that and doing debates and stuff like that. But like his foreign policy, I think it's terrible. I think it's just all for Israel's interests. He advocated on his show when the COVID vaccine was coming out that everybody should take it, and he like mandated his employees to take it, saying that it's a good thing. Oh, my wife's a doctor. You should all take it. Well, thanks a lot, Ben. Like, you really care about us, don't you? It's a good thing I didn't take his advice. Yeah, I just don't. It's like when people like him, when people like Mark Levin, people like Lindsey Graham come out and say, yeah, this is a good thing. This will benefit you. I don't believe that shit. This is not true. It never has benefited anybody in America, and it likely never will. I will be surprised if it doesn't have some sort of lasting negative effects. I hope it doesn't. Like, I hope the best for the situation. I don't want it to end badly. You don't want to have to say I told you so, because that means something bad happened. You want to be able to say that things are great, things are good.
Great.
So.
The best. Fantastic. A lot of people say it.
Yeah, they do. Anything else you want to talk about? I think we covered.
Yeah, I think we got it. I think we got it all.
We didn't really cover Trump as Republicans, why he has so much criticism and why he might not win the midterms. I think we kind of
I
went
think
over
this
that.
whole podcast kind of covered that.
Yeah, you could definitely covered that.
And if we didn't cover it this episode, go watch the previous 10. That'll probably cover it.
Yeah. Ugh, man. All right.
Yeah.
Well, what do you say? Want to
So
wrap it up?
yeah, we can wrap it up. Next week is gonna be
Unlikely.
tentative for me again. We'll see.
But he's going on a secret operation to topple another nation. So.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of betting on.
That's
my
why we didn't have
APAC
an
deck
episode
being
last
bigger this
week. Buddy was a little bit busy capturing Maduro.
Yeah, I was on the up. That was my outfit. That was my Nike outfit that Maduro had on
Oh
the.
yeah. Do you think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
weird how many times they did outfit changes on him? It was like 4 different times.
Was that actually real, or was that just like
Yeah,
AI?
that was real.
flop?
It was real. It looked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, initially I thought it was AI, but they were all real.
Huh.
Anyway, yeah, probably not next week then. Maybe I'll do a solo.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Like I said, it's
angrily
possible. But,
ranting the entire time if I do a solo.
I mean, that's kind of how this episode went. I haven't had much time to keep up to date on current events, but we're not just letting the people know we're not gone.
No,
Just busy.
Yeah, like we have actual jobs and stuff. It's not like we're just have millions of hours of free time just to do this. So this is like a hobby, spare time type thing.
Yep.
Hopefully providing some value.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for watching, and we'll catch you likely in 2 weeks.
All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Peace.